from Arkansas's #1 trusted source for weather. This is a severe weather alert.
Alrighty, good early morning, guys. This is Chief Forecaster Cameron
and Derek here again, folks. And once, obviously, you're going to send me in the studio and quite
I'm kind of hanging off the camera doing offside work, so I'm gonna let you take over a little bit.
So once again, folks, we have a relatively significant severe weather event fixing to unfold across much of the natural state this evening. We currently have one line of storms that's roughly Fort Smith down to just south of Hot Springs, down to Arkadelphia and El Dorado. This line of storms is producing mostly 40 to 50 mile per hour winds right now.
Yeah.
For Fort Smith is seeing 70 there. We have 60 mile per hour winds around Hope. But our biggest concern right now is what's coming out of the Tulsa area right now, where they have reports of 90 to 100 mile per hour winds that just went through the city of Tulsa. And this is moving now into northwest Arkansas. Folks, Fayetteville to Rogers to Bentonville. This is your 1 hour warning.
Yeah.
So we're going live a little early ahead of this line of storms, the one coming out of northeast Oklahoma. Now, here's the thing. This is not how this was supposed to go. So the northern line of storm was supposed to.
And there's now a new tornado warning in northeastern Oklahoma. This doesn't include Arkansas, but we have a new tornado warning now. So now we're live. My folks up there in northwestern Arkansas, I didn't mean to interrupt you, by the way. We're gonna have to watch you guys for the potential 90 mile per hour winds, and now also the potential tornado. There, we were monitoring this earlier on for the potential of seeing a tornado here. So now you have a new tornado warning at northeastern Oklahoma. I would say anyone in Bella Vista, Bella Vista to Rogers to Fayetteville. I believe that's Interstate 49 over here. Definitely need to be getting away from the windows. I do realize it's about 1 o'clock in the morning. Get away from the windows, get away from the exterior walls at this point. I know there was a civil emergency message coming out from the Tulsa Emergency Management over there. Of high straight line winds over here, guys. So if you know anyone in this area here, and I'm gonna go ahead and get a track of the storm real fast.
Yeah, we're getting significant damage reports coming out of the northeast Oklahoma area this evening.
Yeah.
So once again, even for our followers here in the eastern Oklahoma region, go on. I want you to treat this as if it is a tornado warning.
Yeah.
Because this line of storm is producing 90 to 100 mile per hour winds. Where you see that purple polygon, this is a life-threatening situation that could produce.
We're gonna get you a little closer to the mic. There you go.
That could produce a basically the equivalent of a weak tornado over a larger area.
Yeah.
And same thing going. One good thing I see about this northern line, I'm starting to see a little bit of an outflow boundary.
Yeah.
And best case scenario is before this gets to Arkansas, that this starts to outflow. Now, flip side of the coin is it could be gusting out those winds and creating a stronger environment for a tornado or a high wind potential. So one thing we've been watching all evening is this line of storm.
Definitely. So that's gonna be the biggest thing right now, guys. And like I mentioned before, I've got a track up. We're gonna zoom this down just a little bit to kind of give you guys a perspective on the overall track here. So my folks in Solomon Springs, the Gentry area, this is up here in Benton and Washington counties. You definitely need to get your folks up. I know there's a lot of people doing outdoor activities and stuff like that, or even camping and everything like that. Give them that heads up saying, hey, we've got 90 to 100 mile per hour winds coming in. It will be moving into northwestern Arkansas roughly around that 1:30 time frame here. So Solomon Springs, we're talking right around 1:30. The Rogers, Springdale area, we're going to be talking about 140-ish, 145 at this point. So, folks, anyone in these areas, they definitely need to treat this line of storms as if it was a tornado warning at this point, given the fact that it can produce 90 to 100 mile per hour winds. And I stressed this earlier on. Don't sneeze at this just because it's a severe thunderstorm warning. You don't need a big red polygon take severe weather seriously. We had emergency management over here in northeastern Oklahoma and the Tulsa area talk about those winds, 90 to 100 mile per hour winds. So, folks, anyone in these areas, make sure that they are away from the windows and they are away from the outside walls at this point. You want to get to that center, lowest point of your home. You want to treat this as if it were a tornado because it's producing tornado-like winds. It's the EF0 scale starts at 65 miles per hour. you start talking near 100-mile-per-hour winds, you're talking EF1 or greater damage coming in. This is going to be for our folks in Benton and Washington counties. That's Rogers, Fayetteville, down to West Fork, and also Interstate 49 over here in Benton and Washington counties. So definitely need to be taking your, I would say now, take your tornado precautions. Now, we can take a look at the rest of the state at this point because we don't want to just focus on this area. We do have some showers, thunderstorms ongoing across this point. Most of these storms, like Derek mentioned before, are producing about 60-mile-per-hour winds. I know some of these storms are kind of special weather statement for 40, but I do believe with the outflow boundary kind of nearby, they are pushing 60 miles per hour. And I'm noticing something very, very concerning. Your warm front that has been stalled out down here in southern Arkansas for several days is now beginning to move to the northeast. And
this is the same as this line is pushing in.
Yeah.
So, one thing we're going to have to watch is any interaction with this. Now, the other concept with this line, so this southern line has actually prevented our northern line from moving southeast.
Yeah.
If you remember throughout the day, the enhancer was shaped from kind of northwest to southeast. Because originally the idea was that this line would move into northwest Arkansas and move down through southeast across the state. Well, instead what you have are two separate lines that one is moving just ahead of the other one. Now, best case scenario is this southern line will wipe the atmosphere before the northern line comes through.
Yeah.
Now, the flip side of that coin is that there may be just enough wind energy for both.
I was going to say, this is what you were referring to earlier on. This is the current day one enhanced risk for much of Arkansas here.
This goes till 7 a.m.
And you're going to have
another one for your Father's Day afternoon and evening as well.
Yeah.
And that event, depending on what we're currently seeing and our fear is, could be more significant.
Yeah, I'm very concerned about this. It's kind of more of a worst case scenario for.
They just updated. This
is day 2. Okay. That's day 2. So the newest update will be coming out here next about 10 to 15 minutes. But my concern is this particular line per guidance was in central and southwestern Arkansas earlier on, and that's what we had a lot of concern with. Now, fortunately for our folks in central Arkansas, this is the round we're dealing with. It's producing 40 to 60 mile per hour winds, not significant. Unfortunately, our folks up here in northwestern Arkansas is dealing with the 70 to 90 mile per hour winds that's getting ready to come into. It does look like it's going to be coming into Benton County at this current point here. And I will say this, if this ends up occurring and this ends up getting done by 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, we have nothing going on by sunrise Sunday morning. We will have some trouble in paradise because we will have another round of severe thunderstorms coming in as we get towards tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. So something that we're going to have to monitor very closely. It's just going to depend on what happens with this round. This round will make or break tomorrow's severe weather threat here. So let's continue to talk to you guys about this ongoing war here. So like I said before, folks that are tuning in, we've been live on YouTube almost the entire night there. We got a confirmed tornado. We have now a confirmed tornado in northeastern Oklahoma. This is going to stay away from Arkansas for the majority, but we now have a radar confirmed tornado that is moving east at about 55 miles per hour here. So that's going to go towards mile marker 264 and 269 at this current time. So a tornado is on the ground, and that is along the line of storms that we are so concerned about at this point. So that's what I'm saying for my folks in northwestern Arkansas. We can go ahead and draw a track for you guys. You guys definitely need to treat this. I know it's a severe thunderstorm warning, but you need to treat this as if it was producing tornadoes, because this is what's going on at this point. It's producing this line of storm is producing tornado-like winds at this current time. So you have a severe thunderstorm warning in place. What you got for me over there?
All right, so we know 100 mile per hour winds were recorded in Tulsa.
Yeah.
Officially, we'll get multiple reports of damage along this line from Broken Arrow to Tulsa. A tornado just went through a small town in northeast Oklahoma. We're also starting to watch little kinks along our line out there along the outflow boundary.
Yeah.
So we're getting access to 70 to 100 mile per hour winds along this line. So folks, if you live in Rogers, if you live in Gentry, if you live in Silent Spring, if you live in Fayetteville, folks, it is currently 12:50 a.m. on June 18th.
Yeah.
If you can hear, this is your 1 hour warning. You need to be thinking about taking those tornado precautions. Yes, I know this is a severe thunderstorm warning. Yes, I know people tend to not take those as serious. Folks, this is a major ongoing, what we call almost a derecho type of situation.
Yeah.
80 to 100 mile per hour winds can produce a lot more damage over a large scale area than any small tornado.
Yeah.
I've seen the damage firsthand. It happens time and time again. That's something you don't want to take lightly. Especially, this is moving into a very highly populated part of the state.
Yep.
I mean, you're talking Fayetteville, you're talking Bentonville, Rogers. This is a very highly and I'm very, very, very concerned for our folks up here in northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, and not only that, but Interstate 49, you have a lot of truckers that are asleep.
Yep.
You know, that sleep alone. You know, the rest stops and stuff like that. So that's the biggest thing, guys. You know, if you're going to Fayetteville up to Rogers and stuff like that, give them that heads up, saying, hey, we've got 90 mile per hour winds, and that's the thing. You know, severe thunderstorm warning for 90 mile per hour winds is a destructive storm. Gotta take it as if it was like a tornado warning, because this is producing tornado-like winds. This is not your typical 60 mile per hour severe thunderstorm that you see on a normal sunny day. This is something that you would see something in March and April where you have 90 to 100 mile per hour winds beginning to move through the area. So keep that in mind, folks. That's the number one thing I want to stress right now is my folks over here in Benton and Washington County.
So let's go down to southwest Arkansas now.
Yep.
For our folks in Sevier County, Howard County, River County.
Yep.
We now have 70, 80 mile per hour winds being reported with this line of storm. Now, keep in mind, I want you to look at the radar closely. You have a line of storms coming into central Arkansas. You have a second line of storms coming into southwest Arkansas.
Yeah.
You have a third line of storms. Folks, the energy surrounding this system, you know, normally when you have this initial line go through, you would wipe out your atmosphere. It's moving so fast, the atmosphere is still recovering. You have a very strong, you have 50 to 70 knots of shear in place across the state. So what that means is that we have to watch this area for the potential of very strong damaging winds. We also have a warm front that is moving north.
Yep.
So with that being said, that is going to add to the potential of damaging winds across a large area of the state. And unfortunately, our worst fears may be coming true to where the entire Hampshire is maybe getting ready to see a damaging wind threat.
Yeah, and I'm going to pay attention. Rich, thank you for pointing this out. Near the Nebraska area, we're going to have to watch this closely. We're going to go over to our rotation indicator real fast here, and he was noticing some rotation. There it is, right there.
Right there,
right
just
there.
Just north of Prescott.
Yeah, just north of that area here. And
also, let's watch our areas from DeQueen as well.
Yeah, right over here.
Just to the if you live in DeQueen, folks, that looks at that's starting to look a little concerning as well.
Yeah.
Again, right now it's mostly damage and wind threat, but again, the atmosphere. Yeah, again, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. It's not as conducive, but again, as we've seen time and time again, you can get tornadoes to form.
Okay, we got some that one right there. We've got some damage reports now.
Okay.
We've got trees down along Highway 70 over here in McCurtain County at this point. So the considerable damage that not only for our folks there, in northwestern Arkansas, but also southwestern Arkansas. We're going to have to watch you guys closely at this point. So this is going to continue to move towards the east. At this current time, let's go ahead and pull up the other severe thunderstorm warning. It's going to go for 70 mile per hour winds at this point.
KIN-X radar, which is the main pulse radar.
Yeah.
About let's go, just for 120 mile per hour winds at the first. This is with this storm coming into northwest Arkansas. So folks, this is a very unusual situation. Normally we wouldn't be live for severe thunderstorm warnings, but this is a life-threatening situation tonight across the natural state, especially for our folks in northwest Arkansas. Now, if this southern end catches the wind energy with the northern end, I'm very concerned we can see a widespread MCS event across much of the state. And what's happening is I'm noticing the southern one is starting to turn and connect with our northern line.
Northern line merger. A merger. That's what you got going on right now is a merger. So you've got your northern line up here. You got your southern line. You're going to have to watch this close because if this continues.
And you have another round developing.
Back over here.
Out here in central Oklahoma. So again, this is a continuous situation that continues to evolve.
Yeah.
And again,
I want
this is our.
to show everybody something real quick. So we're gonna go over to our current temperatures at this point. I'm gonna switch this over to our surface base
This
cake.
is just nuts.
This is nuts. You have a lot of instability
Yeah.
coming in at this
You have
point.
building.
Yeah,
Your cape is building,
yeah. And
not
you,
decreasing.
not yeah.
Right.
And then you can see back out here towards the west how it's continuously increasing. So you're gonna have to watch this very, very closely throughout the nighttime tonight, guys. This is gonna move very fast across the state here. So I'm concerned that some of these storms may be producing higher than 40 to 50 mile per hour winds, probably 60 or 70, especially the ones closer to southwestern Arkansas down here. But I don't want to take anything away for our folks up here. So what we're going to do for just a second, instead of hopping back and forth between radars, we're going to do this. We're going to switch over to our national radar so you guys can get perspective on what we're looking at here. So I'm going to stop the radar for just a moment. We're going to go over to our national radar and kind of show you guys what we're dealing with here at this point. So there's your current radar at this time. And as I mentioned before, there it is right here. There's your first line of storms that you're going to have to watch. And then you have these other storms that are coming out of southwestern Arkansas. This is going to be producing 60 mile per hour, 70 mile per hour winds. And then this one right in here, coming into northwestern Arkansas, producing 90 mile per hour winds. And as Derek just mentioned before, we have official confirmed reports. I think, what was it, 120 miles per hour, Derek? 120 mile per hour winds coming in. So that's the biggest thing, folks. You've got to treat these severe thunderstorm warnings seriously. We put that public service announcement earlier that damaging winds is just as important as dealing with a tornado, and that is exactly what we stand by here in Arkansas Weather Watch. You've got these storms down in here. Give me 1 second. I'll clear this off the screen so you guys see this. So there it is right here. So you have a line of storms coming into southwestern Arkansas. These storms are capable of producing 60 to 70 mile per hour
Tornado
winds.
warning for Nevada County and Arkansas.
Okay, it's going to be down here.
Yep. So we're going to go straight to. All right. So
Okay.
we now have a tornado warning on the board.
Okay.
This is for our folks in
There it
Nevada
is.
County in southwest Arkansas.
Yep.
And our folks in Clark County, I want you to take cover as well. Southwestern Clark County. This is a tornado warning that has just been going out.
Got
there
it.
in the last 15
Yep, got it. Got it right here. So let's talk to you guys about this. There's a tornado warning, so we'll go ahead and read you guys to it. National Weather Service and Shreveport has issued a tornado warning for northern Nevada County and southwest Arkansas until 1:30. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Prescott, moving east at about 20 miles per hour here. So potential for tornado and radar indicated rotation at this point. So that's why we're
this
stressing.
Is the storm that we
Yeah.
were talking about originally.
Yeah,
as
definitely.
well.
Definitely. So we're going to go over to our rotation indicator at this point, and you guys are going to see it clear as day right in here. Like we always mention when we do these tornado warning live coverages, guys, right through here. This is where you're going to have to watch for that tornado potential right
also
through there.
now watching Paris as well.
Okay. All right. Paris,
So,
Texas. So that's going to be down.
Folks, I'm getting
That's,
kind of
yeah.
concerned that we're going to have a surprise again.
Yeah. So
Um,
it's going to be right in here. It's going to be on the east side of Prescott, or just to the west of Reeder over here. This is in far southwestern Arkansas. This is going to be, I do believe, that's Miller. That's going to be up here in Nevada County, going into not Pike County. I can't remember this other county. Derek, need you for a sec.
Washington County.
Washington County. Thank you.
Also,
So
if you
yeah,
live in the Wheeling Springs in Clark County,
Clark-
go on and
Clark
take
County.
your.
I get these. I get these. Yeah, I was gonna say I get these
So
two
again,
mixed up. Yeah.
if you live in Washington County and Clark County, go on and take your tornado precaution again.
Okay.
This is at the corner of two different National Weather Service offices, Little Rock and Shreveport.
Yeah.
So again, that's why the warning looks kind of funky, because it is right in between two radar sites at the time.
Yeah. So it's going to go right through here. That's going to go for Washita County and southern Clark County over here. That's the area of rotation. It's very broad, too. And the biggest thing is, like Derek mentioned before, this is right there on the radar edge between Shreveport and Little Rock. So something that we're going to have to continue to monitor real quickly here. And like I mentioned before, it's nighttime. This is shrouded in heavy rainfall and winds up to 60 to 70 miles per hour. So,
Trying to get out.
yeah, do not try to get out in this, folks. You do not want to take your chances with this, guys. So, this is going to track. Let's see if I can zoom this down just a little bit. This is going to track right there on Highway 24 over here east. This is north and west of Buff City over here. This is also going to, like I say, include northwestern Washita County and southern Clark County over here at this current time here. So make sure you're taking your tornado precautions there. We've got a new severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible. Severe thunderstorm warning for Clark, Pike, and Dallas County until 1:45. 60-mile-per-hour winds, nickel-sized hail, and the potential of a tornado as well to kind of
Again,
coincide
if you
with
live
this.
in Curtin, Wheeling Springs, Sparkman, don't want to take those tornado precautions. Lowest the level of your house, put as many walls in between you and the outside as possible. Again, it is dark, it is late. This is a rain wrap. This would be a rain wrap tornado if it were to form. I also want to keep this in mind, folks. This is a 0% tornado risk. There is no tornado. There was, like I mentioned, the tornado risk is very, very low, but not zero. The Storm Prediction Center had no tornado risk for Arkansas overnight. Well, with the, again, as we mentioned time and time again, tornadoes don't care about risk areas. So, if you let your guard down thinking there wasn't going to be a tornado threat, we warned you, Cameron warned you time and time again throughout the last couple of days that this would be a type of night where it did not matter.
Sometimes you have to look at your ingredients and your environment to kind of predict stuff like this, guys. And this is what we've been talking about all day long. You know, you have your tornado, you have your damaging wind threat. That's obvious. But what comes with significant, I've noticed this too, Derek, when you have these significant damaging wind threats, you have some sort of low-level tornado threat, kind of similar to what you guys saw in Shreveport, northwestern Louisiana, on Thursday night, where you had a tornado confirmed along the line itself. So, folks, like I said before, this is what we got. Tornado warning that's going to go from northern Nevada County. I wouldn't be shocked to see this extended over into northwestern Washita County, or even southern Clark County and Dallas County before too much longer here. And like I mentioned before, not take anything away for our folks up here in northwestern Arkansas. We're going to have to watch this 90-mile-per-hour winds moving into Benton and Washita counties, not Washita, Washington counties up here in northwestern Arkansas. It's moving east at 60 miles per hour, folks. So, folks, like I mentioned before, you've got to take your tornado precautions up here. I cannot stress that enough. I'm going to move this, talk to you guys about 60 miles per hour up here in northwestern Arkansas. And that's going to go for the following Springs. You've got about 20 minutes. Gentry, you have less than that. Well, you have more than that, about 3 or so minutes. Bella Vista, a little bit after 140. Fayetteville is going to be closer to 150. Springdale, right around that 150 time frame as well. Also, Rogers and Pea Ridge up here, right around that 150 time frame. So up here, northwestern Arkansas, like I mentioned before, yes, we are covering a tornado warning down here in southwestern Arkansas, but we also have 90-mile-per-hour winds moving into Benton and Washington counties up here in northwestern Arkansas. And
Also,
we have not forgotten anybody else in the state. What you got?
Folks in Logan County, between Paris, Tobacco, and Scranton, not under a warning yet, but I am getting 60 to 70 mile per hour winds on that storm as well on the Fort Smith radar. So again, even though some of these storms are not warned, does not mean they cannot produce those very, very strong winds. Once again, and now what's happening is our southern line is now turning east. So now you have this initial line coming through. You have your northwest Arkansas line is going to go through as well. So once again,
This is a better view of the rotation down here in northern Nevada County and southern Clark County down here. This is near the Gordon area. What I'm going to do for just a second, folks, to kind of make the map a little easier to read, we're going to take off all these state highways at this point. We're going to focus on the primary area. So this is just to the east of Interstate 30 at this point. This is kind of riding along the Nevada and Clark County line over here, and it's going to continue to move out towards the east at about, I clock at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. So this is going to be your track right here, like I mentioned before, where you see your green and red combined as one. That is where you have that tornado potential right there along the border of Clark County and Nevada County at this current time. So if you know anyone down here in Clark County or Nevada County or in southwestern Dallas County, definitely need to take your tornado precautions immediately. Get away from windows, put as many walls to any outside as possible, and get to the lowest area of your home immediately. We cannot stress that enough at this point. Okay, so we're going to clear this off for just a moment, and what we're going to do is we're going to zoom this down so you guys get a street level view on what we're looking at. So it's going to be Nevada Road 35 South. That's just north and east of the Prescott area. Also, this is County Road 20 over here. This is southwest of Gordon over here. This is in Clark County at this point. So the rotation is kind of riding along the border of Nevada County and Clark County at this point. Right there on Nevada 241 Road over here. That's going to continue to move out towards the east at about 20 miles per hour. So That's the tornado warning at this point. There, are you seeing anything over there? At this point, in terms of confirmation, but I see that. I see the wind. The wind is ridiculous. You've got 40 outbound and you about 40 inbound. So that's about roughly 80 miles per hour gate to gate. So you have a potential weak tornado down here. And there's the latest scan, Derek. And boy, I would say that's right
folks,
there.
If you live
Right
from
there on the edge,
Gurdon to just east of Prescott, look at just the south of Wheeling Springs, folks. If you live on the Clark County and Nevada County lines, you need to be in a safe place right now. It is currently 1:06 in the morning on Father's Day morning. Call somebody, wake them up. There's a lot of campgrounds there. There's a lot of camping areas around this area.
We've been stressing it all
Call
day.
somebody, wake them up. Tell them, hey, this is a dangerous situation. We have the potential of a tornado
You have to watch this too.
in this area. And my concern with this is this is on the warm front. Our warm front is rapidly surging right now. That is my concern. You have increasing Cape. Your temperatures are actually increasing right now. As a matter of fact, here at the Weather Center, we just went up to 84 degrees. We were at 79 degrees. So my concern is that these temperatures are rising instead of falling.
Yeah.
You don't get this very often unless your atmosphere is extremely unstable.
Okay.
And your atmosphere is extremely unstable this evening.
Okay, so I'm looking at, while we're looking at this tornado warning, I'm going to let you take over. The enhanced risk is still there for today. It's going to include southeastern Arkansas.
Wow.
Yeah, they shifted it a little bit further south, but the flight risk is still there across much of the state. So they're trying to figure out what's going to happen
With this overnight round.
with this overnight round. There's a lot of
I
uncertainty
don't
with it.
agree with the cut off that far.
I don't either. There's a lot of dirt. So given the potential, the 30% potential still remains, but it's going to determine what happens with this and what does happen with secondary development. We'll get more into that once this tornado warning is off the board. But definitely something we're going to have to watch. Whatever happens out of this is going to depend on what happens. They talked about it clearly with the update today is whatever happens with this round in particular. That's why we've been saying so much. This round is going to determine tomorrow's round. So, folks down here in southwestern Arkansas, tornado warning still remains in effect until 1:30 this morning. That's going to go from northern Nevada County, Clark County, and Dallas County. I know you're under severe thunderstorm warning. I would go ahead and treat this as if it was a tornado warning. That's the biggest thing I want to stress to you guys right now. Also, one more thing. I do realize it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I do realize it's a Saturday night going into Father's Day. A lot of people are resting because they have big plans going on for tomorrow. If you end up under a tornado warning, blow their phones up. Get them up. Let them see this information, guys. This information is very, very crucial. So, what do you see?
Morning now, top power winds for our folks in Russellville, Harris, Clarksville.
I'm gonna keep an eye on that. It's right there on the edge of the radar. I'm gonna keep an eye on that at this point. So we're gonna zoom that down to this storm.
Yeah. Get a hook on that one as well.
Yeah. Let me keep me updated on that one. So this is going to be it right here, folks. Let's take a look at our debris indicator at this point. And luckily for us, and I said for Derek as well, he's not hearing anything. We're not seeing any indication that this thing is on the ground or anything like that. As you can see with the red and the orange, this is mainly heavy rainfall, hail, wind. We're not really seeing any, blues or anything like that, which is great news. It means anything it's not confirmed on the ground or anything like that. But still, regardless of this thing, but drops or anything like that, you're still going to have to deal with 70 mile per hour winds. You're still going to have to deal with heavy rainfall, and you're still going to have to deal with the potential that this thing could briefly touch down. So if you know anyone in these areas, tell them to take their tornado precautions immediately, folks. That's the biggest thing I want to stress to you guys at this current time. Okay, so give me just 1 second. We're going to switch this over to our gust potential at this time here. And right in here, and boy, Derek, take a look at this. That's going to be it right there. Yep. You've got winds approaching 80 miles per hour going into southern Clark County at this point. So you're not only dealing with the potential for a tornado, heavy rainfall, but also near 80 mile per hour winds coming into this area at this point, guys.
This is a very, very, very concerning situation. Well, I will say this, the plus side, there is a bright side tonight. We're not dealing with the hail.
Yeah.
The major hailstorms that we've had.
Yeah.
The downside, we are dealing with damaging wind, which is just worse.
It's just as worse, yeah.
And again, we are continuing to watch multiple across the coast. If you live
I didn't mean to say that
If
far.
you live southwest of Scranton, up here, let's go to our velocity scan.
Okay.
Up here, very concerning look on this part of the road. We are starting to get that bookend vortice here just to the east of Paris.
Yeah.
Folks, if you live between Clarksville to Knoxville, Russellville, let's keep a close eye on this storm. But again, it is not tornado warned yet.
Yeah.
60-mile-per-hour winds.
What we're gonna do for just a second, I'm gonna tilt this up,
But I'm starting to
kind
get
of clear this up a little bit.
even then.
Yeah,
it's still,
even then.
Yep.
Yeah, you can still see it. So
if you live along I-40, in between Clarksville and Russellville,
yeah, there it is. New tornado warning.
a new
There
brand new warning
it
has
is.
just gone out.
There it is.
So,
Nice call on that.
So once again, so now we have two tornado warnings on the board.
All right, so tornado warning is in effect for northeastern Logan, southeastern Johnson County, west central Polk County until 1:45 this morning. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Midway, Logan County, or 8 miles east of Paris, moving east at about 45 miles per hour here. So, folks, we now have 2 tornado warnings on the board, along with the potential of 90-mile-per-hour winds moving into northwestern Arkansas, 70 to 80-mile-per-hour winds moving into southwestern Arkansas here. We've been stressing this all day long that a tornado would be possible. We would have that tornado risk during the overnight hours here, regardless of what everyone else was saying, guys. So that's the biggest thing there. We're going to have to watch that there because when you get done with that, let's take a look at this because we're starting to see some significant rotation just to the southwest of Knoxville. So this is west and northwest of Russellville. This is southwest of Dover. This is going to be on the southwest side of Interstate 40 and south of Highway 64 at this point. Anyone in these areas, they need to take their tornado precautions immediately. Get them on the phone, blow their phones up, give them a text message, call, etc. Get these folks up along Interstate 40 at this point. Take your tornado precautions immediately at this current time. Let's take a look at the debris indicator. Right now, I'm not seeing any signs of any debris balls or anything like that, but the rotation is very, very strong, as you guys just saw a second ago. So you definitely need to take your tornado precautions. What you got for me?
Just south of Scranton.
Okay.
On your debris indicator.
Okay.
Latest scan just came out.
Latest scan. Okay.
All right. So let's go. It's going to be, let's go just south of Scranton, right in here. Right in there. So just north of Sabaco.
Yeah.
So this is where your rotation is.
That's me right there on Crossroads North Road.
Okay,
That's
so-
southwest of Knoxville.
So latest scan has increased your velocity to over 100 miles an hour on the radar, and it's matching up with our debris scan. If you live in Scranton, there's your latest right there.
Right there. That's going to be your latest scan right there.
If you live in Scranton, take your tornado precaution right now. Lowest level of your house, put as many walls in between you and the outside as possible. Folks, if you live
We have another tornado warning, by the
if you
way.
live in Knoxville,
Give me in northwestern Arkansas.
you need to be taking tornado precautions.
Yeah. And I figured we were going to get busy. I told you guys from the get-go that we were going to have to watch these storms very closely. Yeah, I just saw.
Latest correlation scan got even worse.
Yeah, it's going to be right here.
All right, folks, I am not saying it's on the ground, but
That's
saying,
Old Military Road right there. That's
folks,
south of
if you
Scranton.
live in Scranton,
Knoxville as well.
Folks,
Along
if you
Interstate
live in
40.
Knoxville, take your tornado precautions right now. Lowest level of your house, put as many walls in between you and the outside as possible.
Yeah.
Our folks in Nevada County, your warning has been dropped.
Okay. That tornado warning's off the board. We're going to focus on this one up here.
This one, later, let's go back to our velocity scan.
Yeah.
As well.
Wait 1 second. I'll come right back.
Very concerning scan here on this. Folks, this is what we call a bookend vortice. So what this means instead of on the southern end of a bow echo, this is on the northern end of it. This is what we watch for on these thunderstorm lines.
Yeah.
We look for the northern end to wrap around into itself.
Yeah.
And when it does, again, this is moving into 50, 70 knot shear. So we have more than adequate instability. As Cameron showed earlier, we have more than adequate shear to withstand this. So again, if you live in Knoxville, if you live in Dover, if you live in Scranton,
I'm going to clear this up
to
just a
take
little bit.
your tornado precautions right now.
There we go.
Lowest level of your house, put as many walls in between you and that side as possible. Get to your basement, get to your bathtub, mattresses, blankets, pillows, whatever you have. If you know somebody in this area, call them and wake them up right now.
That's right there on 42. I mean, there's a lot of people that are traveling. You know, you got your truckers that are out there that are, at the rest stops and everything like that. They need to be taking their tornado precautions immediately, folks. So Like I mentioned before, this is Chief Forecast Cameron. This is Derek over here. About 1:15 in the morning, we're giving you guys tornado warning coverage at this point along Interstate 40.
We now have a destructive tag for Bentonville.
Tornado on the ground.
Tornado on the ground.
Tornado on the ground. Tornado on the ground. So
Again,
we have
like I said.
so we have a destructive tag in Benton
Oh my
County.
gosh. Let's go to our debris signature.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's on
this is
it's
very
on
concerning.
it's on the ground.
Very large debris signature. Transparent view.
I'm gonna tilt what I'm gonna do
Yeah.
for just a second, so I know what's going on here. I think it's this is higher
Tornado
elevation.
observed. All right, so this is 20
Right there.
tornado was
There it
right
is. There it is. There's your debris. Derek, I got your debris on radar.
Yeah.
It's gonna be right here. Right in there. There's your debris. I had to tilt the radar up because you're in the higher elevations over here.
Go to the Fort Smith.
The Fort Smith, the Fort
Fort
Smith.
Smith radar 0.5.
Okay.
Your Fort Smith radar is 0.5. Well.
Okay.
So confirmed tornado was located over 8 miles south of Clarksville, moving to 45.
Yeah.
All right. So once again, folks, if you live in Clarksville, this does not live in Knoxville. You need to be in a safe one tornado on the ground.
You're away from the mic, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I was
right,
gonna say you're away from
once
the mic.
again,
You're
sorry.
fine.
Once again, we have a tornado on the ground. Let's say this is a tornado on the ground.
Yeah.
Folks, this is moving just to the northwest of Russell. Sirens are going
Going
off
off
from
from
Russellville.
Russellville, and for the right reason. For the right
For a
reason.
good reason. One sharp turn, and this goes right
Right.
through our folks in downtown road. Russell.
Yeah.
If you live in Dover, if you live in Knoxville, you need to be in your safe place right now.
Yep.
Now, not only that, Bentonville, Fayetteville, you need to be in your tornado safe place now. You have 90-mile-per-hour winds moving into northwest Arkansas. Gentry, Bentonville.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow. That's gonna be it right there.
yeah. All right, so let's go to our debris
Yeah.
indicator.
Yeah.
On this storm.
Right there.
Right there.
Right
Just to
there.
the-
Right there. There it
just
is.
to the southwest of Knoxville.
Knoxville.
So
Yeah.
let's Cam, let's
I got it. Read your mind
so
already.
Knoxville, Hector.
Hector. Yeah, that's
Hector, Knoxville, Dover. You are very familiar with this track coming off of Mount Magazine, coming across the river valley.
Yeah.
Folks, if you live in Knoxville, 1:27 a.m. You have 10 minutes, folks. This is moving in your direct path, folks. This is a dangerous situation. It is 1 o'clock in the morning. You have a tornado on the ground along a leading edge of a 70-mile-per-hour windstorm. Folks, anywhere along this severe thunderstorm warning, you need to be in your safe place anyway. But especially if you live within this tornado warning, Scranton has already had reports of damage. So, again, Lamar, Knoxville, London, Dover, Hector, you need to be in your safe place right now. Hector, you're not in the warning yet. Sirens are going off. Sirens are going off in Dover. Sirens are going off Russellville. This may skirt just north of Russellville. Latest scan has lowered our debris indicator. Now, keep this in mind. This went from a town to tree.
Yeah.
So we went from a town to tree. So my concern is that this went through Scranton with lots of damage, and now it's moving into trees. Do not let your guard down on this storm. This time and time again in these types of situations when the spin up has been.
Definitely.
Now, latest velocity does look a little bit better than what it did. However,
Thank you, Dustin, by the way, for getting that out on Facebook.
Yeah.
I really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
But like I said, folks, if you're just now tuning in, like I said, this is Chief Forecast Cameron. There's Derek. We are live giving you guys tornado warning coverage up here in Polk County at this current time. POPE, not near Mena. This is in Russellville. If you know anyone that's between Knoxville and the Russellville area, you need to take your tornado precautions immediately. Get away from windows. Put as many walls to unit outside as possible and get to the lowest area of your home immediately at this point. So what we're gonna do, you guys, we haven't seen this since March. This is our tornado tool. We're gonna pull this up for you guys and give me just 1 second. We're gonna show you guys where the tornado is at the point. So this is going to be just to the west of Knoxville at the current time. You guys are seeing this live on Facebook and on YouTube. If you know anyone, and I mean anyone, that is near the Knoxville area, they need to take their tornado precautions immediately. Get away from windows, put as many walls to you on the outside as possible, and get to the lowest area of your home immediately. We're going to go over to The rotation indicator is going to be coming up here shortly, and I mean, boy, Derek, yeah, you got to see this. There it is.
Yep.
There it is right there, and we're getting a new scan in per second, guys. It's going right from Knoxville.
Yep.
Knoxville, you need to be in shelter now. This thing is on the ground. It is moving towards Interstate 40. If you know anyone in these areas, they need to take tornado precautions right now.
If you're watching us on Facebook, switch over to YouTube. We're having issues again on Facebook with the scattering and the buffering. It's nothing on our end.
Yeah.
Facebook has been having more and more issues. If you just switch over to our YouTube, we are perfectly clear there. We're getting multiple reports on the Twitter of that issue.
Okay.
So once again, we're going to stay live on Facebook, but if you have a YouTube, if you just search us up, Arkansas Weather Watchers, we are live now.
Yep.
So once again, Knoxville, take your tornado. You need to be in that safe place right now, folks. It is 1:21 a.m. on this Father's Day morning.
We're good on that side.
Yep.
That's the thing. We're good over there. I'm not seeing any issues on our side.
It's a system error with Facebook.
Yeah.
But once again, if you're in Knoxville, Dover, you need to be in a safe place right now. This is north of Russellville. However, keep in your safe place immediately.
Yeah.
You need to be lowest level of your house, but as many walls between you and the outside as possible.
Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from this ongoing tornado that is on the ground. We're going to have to watch Fayetteville. I'm starting to see some rotation being indicated over here on my radar as well, folks. So like I said, this is 1 o'clock in the morning. This is what we do. This is exactly what we do. Knoxville, if you hear the sound of my voice or Derek's voice at this point, you need to get away from windows. You need to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Get to the lowest and the most center portion of your home. If you are in a mobile home, it is too late to evacuate. So what I want you to do is I want you to get something and protect yourself. But at that point, mobile home is not the most safest place, but if it's your only option, you need to get to your mattress. You need to get something to put over your head. That way, you know what you'll be fine during this during this event. But if you are in a sturdy building, you need to get away from windows, put as many walls to you in this tornado as possible. Get to the lowest area of your home immediately. And go ahead.
Power poles and traffic poles being taken down by 90-power winds out of northeast Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Folks, this is a dangerous night that is unfolding. Our worst case scenario is unfolding for our folks across the state. And once again,